Okay, it's time to get into it, cuh. So, updated strategy. This is what I have written of what I'm gonna do, and I'm just gonna get straight and balls deep into it. This is kind of the screenshot, and the whole thing that I did is that I changed from having a mechanical model to just having this discretionary type of guidelines. This is kind of not very like good because I was like still looking at other things, and this isn't really like how I like to trade now, but I'm still gonna go over this. So yeah, um, these are a lot of the topics I have. It's definitely a lot, but I'm just gonna break it up. No timestamps or nothing, cause I'm a G. But I'm just gonna start with this right here. So draw on liquidity and um structure, and then confluences. I guess that's kind of not too good to go over. Then entry conditions. Well, it's just draw and then entries. So that's like the most important thing. So I'm gonna go for draw first. Alrightington. So, ooh, poggers. Ooh, okay, I'm good. Alrighty. So for draw, what I do, I'm gonna go off of what I have written down. Like explain how I use all this right here. Oh, what the hell, okay. I'm gonna explain how I use all this, and then after I explain all this, then I'm just gonna like refresh my head and like just like get my draw based on what I would do if I was actually like looking at price intraday instead of just explaining what how I use these things. So I like to do a top-down analysis. That's like bare bones ICT stuff. Like I really never look at the weekly to be honest. Unfortunately, we didn't hit this OB, but that's cool. I usually just start on the daily and look. So like, I'm gonna use today like as the draw, like how I would look for a draw today, because it's just PA that's already here. So I see that we hit IRL here. It's not discounted, but we saw that this order block form right after. So we're just continuing bullish order flow. Like we, oh, we didn't actually. No, yes, we inverse this. Where is my tool? Okay. We inverse this as we form this OB, so I know that we're gonna go up, and we don't need to hit discount anymore of this whole leg right here. We don't need to hit discount because we're already moving on to the next thing in order flow. So that's a banger. Also, this breaker, I don't expect this breaker right here to be hit because of that set order flow, but you never know. So yeah, I have this BVC standard deviation. Um, I didn't even get to that yet. Top down analysis. Okay. So I see that we have this OB. We respect it here with this fat daddy wick right here. And I see this opposing wick right here. We soup this high right here. Probably like some 4 hour highs or something like that. Then we just accumulated. So since we're still respecting the OB and we just have this big fat juicy doji here, I expect us to just go higher into my draw. Damn, I'm explaining how to get my draw, but I'm already talking about it. Man, it's all good, bro. It didn't even matter. So overall, I want higher because my higher time frame standard deviation is higher, so I want higher, and I can anticipate this bear candle to be formed as an OB today, so I would want to be higher. And then just top down analysis, I just look straight up. This candle didn't form whenever I was looking to trade, but I can see that we have this gap here and we don't really have anything else to go into. Like we have the standard deviation -2 right here. Since I'm bullish, -2 will be the one to react, and we did just that. So I know that the 4 hour is still leaning bullish. So yeah. Then the 1 hour is actually abomination. Um yeah, actually fake got nothing to say about this except for I got standard deviation here. Um I got this standard deviation from I'm just gonna go over how I got my draw today and how I use these things together. Because going one by one is actually fake stupid as hell. So yeah. So I saw first step. I saw this IRO get hit. So now I want this ERO, this 830 price point high. So that was my draw. Well, it was my draw for a fat juicy minute. And then I just intraday I got on. Peeped this standard deviation. My fade don't remember what it was off of. So let me just look real quick. Not that guy. It might have just been a soup of this, or is this Wixie? Let's see. Hell on, twin. Um, yeah, I am not looking at that guy. I think it was just a soup of. I don't even know, twin. But point is, intraday I found this standard deviation, clean power of 3 here, and we just get this whole leg. We could have marked this, but the thing with this is that I mean I already got on intraday, so like I get on at like 8:30, or wait no, I get on at 9. So by 9 we're already expanding hard as balls. So I just used this connection because it aligned with what we reacted off of, which was the damn daddy, which was damn twin, which was which was I mean Jack Diddley squat. Not gonna lie, just this 1 hour RB that's mid as hell. This I remember this 15-minute order block and OTE. That's what it was, and we hit juicy OTE. Boom. That's why we reacted off of that. And then intraday, like I don't trade before New York, so I just saw all this expansion. I'm like, oh yeah, we going up to it. And I used this standard deviation. This was like super hindsight. I just marked this because it was the lowest leg, and we reacted off of this again. So oh yeah, this is definitely the one to look for. And we also see that -1 aligned with this. So this is just the clearest path of all time that we're gonna retrace here. We did retrace here off of OTE. We started pumping, so I expect -2 to be hit, and we hit -2. So that's pretty poggers. And then, whew. But yeah, on the 15-minute, I just saw that this is absolutely insane. Power of 3 aligning with market maker model. Like here, we see us soup this to confirm this is OG. Consolidation. I should keep that there. Then we got a retrace right there, a retrace right here, and then we get our smart money reversal right here, and it definitely is a smart money reversal. 'Cause we see all that chop. So we see this, and this just looks like the most picture perfect buy model that's about to come in intraday. So I'm like, oh yeah, we going up to win, especially with this standard deviation. I was like, oh yeah, and this ERO right here, oh yeah, we definitely going up. But another thing is that we had a bunch of all this low resistance liquidity, so we had these highs to take that aligns with OG, that aligns with my draw being higher with standard deviation. So I was just horny as balls to get in there, and then I just marked this 15-minute leg. Didn't really have a reason to. I mean, we have this like rejection wick here, but it's kind of mid. But every other connection is absolute donkey balls. Like this 5-minute one, this one is just absolutely nothing. Like it's not even the last leg that manipulated, because it would just be this high right here. And as you can see, it worked anyway, so that's all good. It's all goody in the hoodie. So, yep. And that's kind of just how I got my draw. Low resistance liquidity, ERO after we hit IRO, standard deviation, using market maker models to see where we will go next. Like, yeah, just we have this buy side of the curve. Wait, yeah, buy side of the curve. Then sell side of the curve after we see all this chop. So I can assume that we're gonna reverse off of -2 because this is the reversal zone for counter bias. and we just go straight up, take all that low resistance, and this main standard deviation I have back here, we still got to hit that -2. So we're going up to -2. And what was a little before -2? ERL. So I was just locked on being bullish today. So that's kind of just the process of me getting my draw. Just all these things working together. Top down analysis, just broadly looking at order flow and like how we're respecting PD rays and all that on the mega high time frame, like 4 hour daily. Then intraday, I mean, it doesn't matter. Just market maker model, ERL, IRL. I always have ERL, IRL in my head. Um, I didn't talk about premium discount. It's fake, not that deep though. Like, let's say, like, what's a good example? Like here on this, while I'm like at this top of this candle, I see it does start to reject. I would be bearish short term, cause ain't no reason. I'm not gonna lie, twin. I just started yapping, bro. I fade don't even use premium discount like that. But it would just be a nicer draw whenever it aligns with standard deviation with and aligns with everything else. So that's just something to consider. And also, I forgot to put it in the screenshot, but RTHN dog is insanely goaded. Like here, I mean today we didn't really like go crazy, but here, as soon as market opens, we instantly fill that John. Here, we fill that John. Not all the way, but you get it. Here, we start getting up to fill that John. This was bank holiday, so it's like not even that important. Here, we tapped into it. This is like CE. You already know. But yeah, RTH dog is cracked. So if my like outlook aligns with the direction that RTH dog is gonna open, oh yeah, I'm locked and loaded. So yeah, that's something I forgot on there. Now it's just gonna be confluences. So back to the screenshot. We got SMT or SSMT. I don't use SSMT because I just don't like how the indicator looks on my chart. No cap, but it's super good and it like confirms a lot of stuff. Um, I don't know. I don't think any other of this stuff is. Hold on, I'm gonna pause so I can like figure stuff out. Be back. Okay, I'm just gonna take you through what I'm doing. Frick all that pause stuff. This is just straight raw, probably just for me anyway. And yeah, so we got market maker model standard deviation. This is also very true about power of three. I don't think about it that much, but if it lines, then that's poggers. Flow state I'm gonna keep for last because that's like probably one of the most important here. So we're gonna go for what are we gonna do? We already had structure. That's just kind of how I get my draw. Now we're gonna go for this. So the main thing, the reason why it's hard to explain all this is because I don't trade a mechanical model. I just trade like bare bones ICT type of stuff. So let me show you an example actually on my data. So let me just open up the Notion real quick. Scroll through a gajillion data sources. Alrightington. So like here for example, my draw was lower. We see the standard deviation here. I want to follow this main market maker model, so I'm looking to go lower. So we get a 15-minute breaker after a 4 hour level up there. So time frame alignment, very necessary. Didn't write that in the screenshot. It's all goody in the hoodie though. And then I expect us after displacing like this, I want to form the 15-minute breaker and go back into it as well as EQ and CISD right there. So I just had it marked. I was just sitting there waiting like a good boy. And up here we formed a 5-minute PSP. So right after that, I'm like, oh yeah, we see this fat diddy candle right here. This first FVG, it took like this isn't like something I know for sure, but it's good to see. So like we took mad long. Like we were just chopping here, so there was like hella time where we did not use this gap, and for us to just go straight through it like this, we can definitely expect the inverse to hold. So we just limit that jaw and limit the start, and then stops on invalidation point, and then we just bank, no bap. So what did that really look like? So this is mad hard to explain. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I'll just align myself with my draw, and I'll just very like my style is very much reacting to what we're doing. Like for example, let's just go through it today. Hmm. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. So I really kind of just wait for a higher time frame P array or some like level like EQ or OTE, then just put my balls on the wall and just enter off of some sexy order flow or Mandy, other videos on that. But yeah, let's just go over today and see how I would have like approached it. So we see this level, we're going straight up to the draw. That's what I want to see get hit, and we see us inverse. Well, we didn't inverse it yet, but we're looking at this. We have our eyes on this inverse because inverses are very, very nice. We typically always go back to them. And since this is a 15-minute and this was a 15-minute, or 4 hour slash 15-minute level, we just go straight to the 1 minute. And I mean, by before we hit this, I'm just looking at all other time frames, just like, oh, what can I see? What can I see? Like, and I'll just like maybe potentially stack something. Like, I did not peep this, but we also had this gap right here before we hit that. But I'll just be like, oh yep, we hit this. We hit this 15-minute level, and this was also a retrace to EQ. I'm not gonna mark EQ because I ain't doing all that, but this is definitely EQ. And I want to just go straight higher, straight follow this main standard deviation straight to -1, straight to my jaw. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is a very nice retrace off of this 15-minute level. Just gonna look at the 1 minute and look for some confirmation. Confirmation is very important to me. Sometimes I enter before it because I'm just a dog like that, and I kind of just let market experience take over for that. But here we see that we have out of all of this whole leg down, if I want to be bullish, what would I look to enter off of? I could enter off of Wick CE, but that's not like very, very, very nice. CISD is actually fake. CISD here is actually fake hella tough, but stop loss is just absolutely diabolical. I didn't even see that in real time, to be honest, so I'm not even mad. Fake don't even matter. But my eyes are really on this inverse right here. Just like the only thing that's really enterable. So we just wait for this. We wait for us to get a strong close past it. Because if we like get a wee close, like on this candle for example, if we like barely close over it, I'm like, oh hell not twin. I'm just gonna look for a different order flow entry. But here we get this close right here, and I'm so mad that I'm so gay that I didn't enter on this. But I'll just limit the CE of that, and nice one, ka. And then put my stop here at the bottom of this um, FVG candle body. The wick low is definitely better, but it's just like a risk game. So like if we go all the way down here after like running through this gap and not supporting this inverse nicely, if we go all the way down here, I'm cooked. There's no way we're gonna go crazy. I mean, we could hit this OB, but I'm just not expecting that to happen after this strong close after the IFVG. And I'm probably like in real time probably just be way too horny to get in. So I'll just do that. Right click on accident because I'm a G. Then target the draw. And this is kind of what it's like, just straight bare bones ICT and implementing order flow and just basic knowledge. And it's not one simple model that I'm confining myself to, because I think that's very stupid. That you shouldn't confine yourself to one mechanical model, because your experience grows so much, and there's always going to be way different conditions that you're going to see happen on the chart. And with the skill that you like must that you train like a muscle every single day, that skill is not going to be confined to that model. It's just going to be confined to candles. So you should just trade based on what the candles is showing you, not what you make up in your own head, that stupid model that you have. So yeah, this is like fully taking advantage of all those hours looking at these stupid boxes and lines and having numbers on your chart like a dork. Having a discretionary model like this where you don't have guidelines, like strict guidelines and parameters, is definitely the best thing you could do as someone who's like already been in the game for hella long. So yeah, that's how I would have went about getting a trade in here. And I'm just gonna talk about like, yeah, just straight ICT stuff, straight ball knowledge. Um, I'm just gonna talk about intricate things now, like entry triggers, like specific entry triggers, invalidation stop loss, and entry order flow. So entry order flow is exactly what it sounds like. Like if you miss the very top entry, like for example, if I wanted to limit this CISD, put stop up there, and this like obviously is very poggers. But if I miss it or if I whatever reason, I just need to stay calm and we can see that through order flow, through us, we soup this range right here, and then we break through it way fast. So we're just like we hard disrespected that John. We could just look for the next entry that order flow gives us. Like for example, we formed this OB after closing all this. This was probably SMT. If it was SMT, then that's absolutely poggers. Then oh, hang on, I gotta talk about confirmation too. Okay, so yeah, we just wait patiently. If we don't get the best entry for the next entry that order flow will present us, and we use our invalidation stop loss. So here, I mean, since we break this low, we'll just wait. We don't get too horny and just enter as soon as we break it because we don't even see like anything nice. Like here, we see nice displacement lower, confirming this maybe SMT, but confirming the move lower. And we even start forming more order blocks in there. But we also see that we just go, nice one, Ka. We just go back to EQ. We soup this swing high right here, get to CISD, and we just start displacing crazy. This is the best confirmation you can get in the game. It ain't no game, what the hell. But yeah, now here I'm just like absolutely fiending for an entry. Not really, of course, but you could just catch just a simple order flow entry like here. Here we like imagine I was looking at the chart for an entry at this time. Here in order flow, we see that we go up to this redeliver rebalance, and then we just close it hard as balls. We have this OB right here, and we form this gap within that OB. So we look to take that OB so we can put our stop right here with proper nice risk, and we just wait. Balls to the wall, we just wait. So it's probably also OTE. I fake don't care though. Yeah, OTE also there. Just nice continuation trade. We could take it here or to whatever draw this maybe. I don't know. Or 930 low. It could be tough too. Where the hell is 930k? Okay, this is the lowest low of New York. So you could just take it to whatever and just follow order flow and take the next entry. And with these order flow entries, it's very nice to have this. I mean, it's necessary to have these invalidation stop losses. So if we respect this redeliver rebalance and we go back up here to hit this FEG, bro, we're wrong. We are just cooked. So we just always need to like align ourselves with the order flow and make sure our stop loss is also along those lines. Like let me show another example of a order flow entry that actually works. So here, oh, let me use turtle soup because that's actually not. I'm gonna get into that later. This is a long video, by the way, but I mean, if I ever, the length doesn't matter because if I'm ever so down bad that I need to watch this again, then I'm definitely gonna listen to the whole thing like a good little boy. So like, let's see. Okay, perfect example actually. So the entry that I was talking about earlier, this IFEG. Let's say we miss. I'm like, oh damn. Wait, I actually fake could have took this, but it's whatever. Then we see us go right here. We respect it. We form this OB, and then we tap into that OB. We don't tap into that OB. We limit the OB because forming an OB after this nice PD array is so good, especially after this rejection wick, this fat juicy wick. Respecting that, John. Oh yeah, this is perfectly aligned with order flow. So we just put our stop here at the invalidation point because if we were to go all the way down there to retake this low that just respected the IFVG, then we are so wrong, and we're most likely just wrong about the day itself. So like, for example, this is a intermediate term low. I mean, I'll just call this a protected low, cause we formed a swing low after respecting this PD array, and we formed a PD array right after. So we just try to align ourselves with this, try to spot this, stay calm, and just enter off of the next opportunity. And here we could just enter off with this invalidation stop loss according to order flow, and we bank no BAP. So it really is that simple. And just having this flexibility to and this creativity to enter on what you see and like how your brain and eyes have been trained for all that time is super poggers. So that's entry order flow, and an invalidation stop loss. Before I talk about like entry triggers, like the fake boring stuff, it's just gonna be confirmations. So my confirmation are these things. So confirmation, like, oh yeah, I forgot to talk about this in bias earlier. So the reason I was so like hung up on this being correct was because of our cracking correlation right here. This very nice PSP. I'm just gonna put a dot. We had a PSP right here, and we expanded. So what was this? We had our cracking correlation aligning with standard deviation with PD arrays. My bad. And then we displaced right after. Displacement is the one thing that confirms everything in the market. So like if this was SMT, like let's say we had SMT here, the displacement right after is what confirms SMT and is what confirms us to go higher to the draw. And instead of that SMT, we had this PSP, which both are obviously cracking correlations. And yeah, this expansion confirmed this PSP, but also just PSP is just so goaded that you don't even really need to wait for an expansion. You could just get an early entry on, you know. Let me just actually show this was PSP because it was fake. Mad tough. So nice. PSP right there. Confirmation. Confirmation is so like important. I don't really know if it's necessary. No BAP. Like I fake don't even like look at it that much. I'm saying fake. Hello, by the way. I don't even look at for it that much, but it's still something very good to see for conviction, confidence, all that. So for confirmations are just SMTs with displacement, PSB, and yeah, just main thing is that displacement confirms everything. So yeah, this displacement confirmed this PSB, this level, the standard deviation, our standard deviation higher, and our draw. Like you see how much conviction confirmation gives us, and it um it confirmed that we're gonna take this low resistance and this OG consolidation. So yeah, that's kind of like how it all ties together. Just drawing liquidity confirmation and just entering on what you see and what you feel like. Not really feel like, but on what you know is gonna work, basically. So now I'm just gonna go over entry triggers, like like the main ways I would like to enter, and then lastly, probably most importantly, just gonna be flow state. So I have this entry PD array guide, so I'm just gonna explain all of these. I don't really. This is like not for me because I already have this notions, but I'm just gonna share it just in case. You know, there's nothing wrong with trying to be nice. So, okay, I'm just gonna go down the list. So the entry triggers. This is all aligned with DOL, uh, possibly confirmation, and just these are just entry triggers. Don't take it so seriously. So for RBCE, the main thing with RBCE is that we need to make sure that it's a valid rejection block. Like here, um, oh my gosh, whole lot of yap. But here, this is a mature RB, so we see that we displace low. No, we don't displace. We get this inverse volume imbalance right here. We go up, we soup this devil's mark right here. We tap in this RBCE. I'm pretty sure that was RBCE. Looks like it at least. And then we get fat Diddy displacement, forming this ore block slash CISD. So when we come back up here, we start itching our way up here. We can definitely tell that this is gonna cook. Why? Because it's like, think of it as a double PD array. That is a thing, but whatever. We hit this RBCE, and then we tap back, and then we form another RBCE. Align. This is just kind of just the start of order flow. So we just want to take rejection blocks that react off of something else when it makes sense with order flow, basically. And since wicks are gaps, then we can like safely put our stop loss on the top of it. And if we're wrong, then we're wrong, and we just take it to the chin and move on. This is another example. We get this FEG, IFEG, FEG, whatever the hell balls, and just imagine like you missed a move or something. You could just see this fat, juicy rejection, and we just limit that RB. You could limit the top of the thing, the top of the RB, because this makes sense with order flow to limit the top. But since my entry would be on the CE, or could be on the CE, then we do not need like a 1 point stop loss that's gonna be here. So we just put it on this high to extra protected high right there, and then we just ride that John lower, no bap. So that's RBCE. We just want to take high probability RBCE is not just taking a goofy RB right after a level. This I don't know if that's a real example. Might just be that like this. You don't want to like look for the very tippity top because those are just so way too premature and just way too horny for no reason. In CISD, my most common entry trigger, and very nice. Just you get a nice little level right here. Um, it's kind of just what you see first, like what forms first. Like if you're here, seeing us reject off of this level nicely, we just see the CISD, we just get into it, no balls, and we always put our invalidation stop loss just at the bottom right here. This is wrong. My max stop loss points rule, which is so stupid, was 15 points, so I just made it at the 15-point max. I didn't take the trade, by the way, but there is no max stop loss that you need to have. You just always put it at the point of invalidation. If it's too much money, then you just lessen the cons you're using, and that's why micros are goaded. So yeah, you just always for CIZ you always just want to like put it on the low, like wick low or body low, whichever one like you think is better. Like here, the body low is better because we already hit this wick CE, but there might be different circumstances. So yeah, CISD very common ball knowledge nicely. IFEG very good. This is IFEG is probably my favorite. I don't even use it that much, just out of coincidence. I'm just like a dork and don't see it all the time, but I'm gonna get better at it over time. But IFEG, very nice example right here. Here, this like no other entry really makes sense. We have this nice FEG. I'm gonna explain. I mean, both the entries work. I mean, yeah, they're relatively in the same spot, and stop loss always goes on the same point no matter what. So yeah, but we just get this IFEG, and you can limit off any point of the IFEG as long as your stop loss is good and your risk is nicely managed. Um, but yeah, I have all this writing here. Boom, very poggers. But yeah, IFEG was one of the most ideal ones because the RB non-existent, like we're already hashtag gone. We don't have CISD. We do have CISD. CISD also worked, but that is just BBC amount of stop loss points. So the next best thing is just IFVG or this FVG. So yeah, and this was that RB NG thing that I was talking about. FVG, very very important. Um, so I have all this typed. I fake don't care that much though. But for FEG, for me personally, I always need it to be in discount. I actually don't really care about that, no cap. But preferably in discount. But the thing that confirms FEGs and the only reason I would take a FEG entry is only because displacement. Like here, displacement makes a FEG valid. The only reason this is takeable is because it was within displacement. Like for example, here this IVG did not hold because it did not displace. I mean, it's obviously like very balls deep into a discount when we're on sell side, of course. But just you get the gist. Just this didn't displace at all. Didn't do anything. So this FEG is not very good. I mean, we have this OB to make it nice, so it's not that bad. But you get what I'm trying to say. I will only take a FEG if it comes after displacement. And when we see displacement, FEG is very, very good because we always be trying to fill that imbalance. And then turtle soup is very nice. This was like a aha moment for me. Um, I just wrote so much. I'm so sorry. I'm not going through all this cut, but I'll scroll slowly. So I'll just explain it as I go quickly past this. So here we have our FEG right here, and we see us soup this high. So what would make us so convicted in that high? That doesn't even make sense, bro. Oh my days. But here we see that our higher time frame POI is aligned perfectly with this high. So this would make a super possible. So you could just limit this high. We snatch this liquidity's booty. We hit our POI, so we can expect this to go lower. This is pretty situational, kind of. Like here, for example, we have a 5 minute FEG right here. This little wee wee one. Also, this devil's marker here. Inside this 5 minute breaker. Inside OTE. So we scale to the 1 minute, and we see that our entry level has this high right here. So we don't have to wait. Okay, bro, why is it blue? So we don't have to wait for confirmation here. We could just limit the soup on this. This is very, very scary though. Oh my days. I haven't entered on soup before, but I know it's very good. It's I don't know if I would ever enter on this, but I know it's valid. It's also tastes like I just don't think about it defaultly, but that's something that I'll get better over time with. But yeah, you could just limit that, John. Put it at the point of invalidation, which would be like this high, something like that, or like at the end of this breaker or at the end of OTE if I'm really trying to put my balls on the wall. But yeah, that's why turtle soups can be good. Just when it's on a lower time frame, you see a soup, higher time frame level right there, you can just limit that, John. That's really what it is. And then SMTRB, very, very good. This is like, I mean, it's like another version of a mature RB. Like how like a mature RB is just like a RB after it already reacted off of something. A mature RB is very good, but SMT RB is like another variation of a high probable RB to take. So here it's just SMT RB, just pretty simple. Like we go on an entry time frame, we see this SMT be made, we get mad juicy rejection right here, and then you just limit that, John. You just limit the RB because there's SMT there. If this SMT gets graped after hitting your level, then you're wrong, and that's that. You just have to accept that. So if since here we hit our level here, OTE, we made SMT, we formed CISD, we like had this rejection wick, and we see ourselves going up, we could just limit the start of this RB because we know that if we, for any reason, go higher, soup this again, we're just wrong on the day. And if we're not wrong, then whatever, just journal it and move on, little bro. But yeah, SMTRB, very nice. I really don't even like peep it that much. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm not just sitting on the 1 minute looking for SMT. But it's very good to know. It's some ball knowledge, and yeah, it just makes it much less scarier than a regular RB. And yeah, I really like never take regular RBs, no bad. And yeah, those are my entry triggers. That's confirmation. That's drawing liquidity done. Uh, hey, forget all that shit. But now it's just gonna be flow state. So flow state is definitely the most important thing out of all this because if I can't focus, I can never win. I can never do good. Damn, daddy's already 40 minutes. All good though. It's just for me. But flow state. Oh, actually, I have a notion on this. I'll just talk about it while I bring it up. So flow state is just me being fully focused. Like the feeling of flow state to me is just like nothing else in the background was moving. My eyes are literally. I feel like I'm inside the chart. It's like when you're playing Fortnite and like you're in the game moving like as if it's your body. That sounds so dorky, but it's true. I feel like I'm in the monitor. I feel like I'm in the moment, looking at these things happening right before my eyes. Just absolutely laser focus, and that is the key to me, like being confident in entering high probable trades. So this is the notion I got on that flow state. So I was like this heightened state of what did I just say? This heightened state of focus, flow state, something I'm trying to tap into after I felt it for the first time because it's just so incredible. And these are kind of conditions. I don't even look at this notion anymore. The point is, you just want to eliminate distraction and you just want to really just look in at the chart and lock in. Like here, I just have sitting fully in on my desk, getting closer to the screen, both arms on the desk. That's I don't know. That's just mad dumb. Yeah, just all these conditions. It's probably just different for every person, but you just try to focus and just look at the chart. Like, don't look at anything else. Don't look at your other monitor. Just really not. Just really only look at the chart and the candles printing. And yeah, after a while, you'll be in a hyper focus state. But it's like easy to break, and that's where I talk about the killers of flow state, the killers of uh having great focus. I might as well just type it out, bro. We're gonna do 40 like a goat. Oh, what did I just have it on? Was that 14? Yeah, okay. So, the killers of flow state. I'm just gonna add this in Notion too, so it's not a waste. Damn, I can't type twin. Let me sit up actually. So, the killers of flow state are these things. This is in no order, but these are just things that are no bueno. So, the first one is brain rotting. So you cannot expect to brain rot for like a fat juicy minute before you're getting on the chart and expect to really look at the chart and only look at the chart without like having your brain like being hyper like fixated on multitasking like a ADHD kid. Brain rotting is a direct killer to flow state. You cannot brain rot prior. You cannot even like for the past days. Like last week, I brain rotted so much. Like Thanksgiving, I just fully chilling, fully doing whatever the balls. And then on Monday, Tuesday, I felt it. Oh my days, I could not focus at all. Like I cannot spend more than 5 minutes looking at the chart without looking away at a YouTube video on my left or something. But yeah, brain rotting, very bad for flow state. Like you can't get into flow state with that. Secondly, being sleepy. This is just, or let's just say sleepy or my bad G, sleepy or how can I say this? Or not 100%. Um, Too much to type. That what I was thinking. But when you're sleepy, kind of just makes sense. Like if you're high, if your eyes are heavy as balls, there's no way you're gonna be able to just look at the chart. And if you're just like this is what used to happen all the time. I used to be so sleepy on the stupid chair. Like I would sit here looking at chart, and like after a bit, like my eyes will feel heavy, and then I'll close them for a bit, and then I feel like I'm literally out of my body. It's like I'm dizzy as balls, out of being dizzy, and then out of being sleepy. Damn, can't talk at all, cuh. And not 100%. This is just like being malnourished, kinda like not eating well, um, not being hydrated, not having breakfast, whatever. Um, I also stretch. That's very cool. It's not like you don't need it to, but it makes me feel better. Makes me feel 100%. So that's great. Um, damn, what else was I gonna say? Yeah, just diet, not being um thirsty, all that. And for the next killer flow state, um, damn, I fake don't even remember Discord. Boom. That is a part of brain rotting. My fault, OG. I fake forgot my train of thought, so be right back. Okay, so I'm not even gonna lie. I just do not remember the other killers of flow state. But if I remember like it's something like super crucial or something, then I'll just make a whole separate video on that, and it's all Goodington and the Hoodington. But yeah, flow state very important. And before I get in, wait, the flow state was the last thing I was gonna talk about. Damn. But just to wrap it up, I was looking over my weekly analysis to look for the killers of flow state. But this this last bit of the video is just gonna be reminding myself to keep it simple. Keeping my analysis simple, not having much noise, is so good, so good, so good, so good. You just want to keep it simple. You get on, you look at your drawn liquidity, getting ways, all that, and you just stick to that. You don't think about it too much. You just see what you see. You just follow the path, and you just stick to that path no matter what. And a good thing that I've done to keep things simple is to lessen my screen time. Because the more screen time, the more time I have, like the time I have that I can't enter. Like for example, I used to get on like balls deep early into pre-market, like at 8:30, and I since I only enter after and during market open, I'm just sitting there for a whole hour just looking at lines, trying not to distract myself because like I can't like kill like my focus, and I'll just like start looking at opposing things for no reason when all I had to do was just keep it simple, just keep it pushing with that, just sticking to what I know and what I've trained. So I always need to keep it simple, like just PD rate, la la la, market making model, blah blah, entry order flow, boom, just so simple, so easy, and yeah, just keep it simple and execute every single thing, cause there is no, there's zero bad things that can happen from a loss. Like a loss, if you're only taking good traders, of course, a loss can only do you good and can only like add a percentile to who you're gonna become. So always execute, always execute, always execute. That's the one thing that's holding me back right now. So that's why I'm telling myself that. But yes, and I'm pretty sure that is it. But yeah, I'm gonna write some goals on my whiteboard and just um start making videos like every week for a bit, cause I'm kind of in the trenches, but it's all Goodington. Let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, no, that's really it. So boom, that's the full strategy. That's the whole everything, everything, everything I do. And yeah, that's it. So goodbye. Ooh. Uh, this is for drawn liquidity. I did not explain that. Whoops. FU. Very simple. It's just old SMTs. This was an old SMT, and since we formed like a billion new SMTs, we can expect the old SMT to be hit. Since the newest SMT just makes it so that old SMT are just plain relative equal highs or lows. So these two FU points, they're gonna be hit at some point, no matter what. Since they're old SMTs, like this, for example, this is just very sexy. Like if we make a new SMT, like somewhere here, we make a new SMT. That's bad thing. But we just go down here to this FU, old SMT, relative equal lows. Boom. That's what FU is. Old SMTs, drawn liquidity. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Super long video, but now it's goodbye. Bye bye.